These people couldn't be more obvious that they are Cointelpro. I wanted to download this and share it, but it's not happening. I've got some other stuff I downloaded, which I'll share. This is Craig and Fiorella at Echo Park in that area last night. They're now wearing masks. Otherwise, they had been flaunting not wearing masks. At one point, they were harassing someone standing outside on their ledge. They admitted that the police told them they could film where they were. There are moments in which they are identifying protesters. They're saying, that's a protester right there. Convo Couch took footage at the Capitol Hill riot that has led to the prosecution of 2 people for the killing of the police officer with bear spray, manslaughter perhaps, and that it wasn't outright deliberate murder. I doubt they wanted to kill that guy. Whatever they wanted to do, it led to the guy's death. I will now add in some audio here in which the Convo Couch are promoting militias. They are promoting the Boogaloo Boys. They are promoting people walking around with weapons. These people are Cointelpro. Their words give away the show. Their activities are the proof that they are Cointelpro, that they are modern day disinfo shills. They are out to entrap. They are seeking potential Snowdens and Mannings who are involved in military and who could leak stuff. They have access to stuff. They could leak it. Maybe there's other reasons they fear military personnel. I saw this a few years back, that they were worried about their own people. My conclusion is that hippies like myself, nonviolent, groovy individuals such as moi, are not the target. We are a mere nuisance, if that. So right here, let's listen to some audio of the Convo Couch promoting militias. Isn't that wicked awesome? I'm being sarcastic. I'm a non-violent anarchist. I'm a thinker. I would say I'm an intellectual, but that might sound a bit obnoxious.
Black Lives Matter 757 is a group that has worked with all kinds of militias, including the Boogaloo Boys. They are all about taking up arms against the corruption, whether it's the cops, whoever it is. So I want people to know more about these groups that aren't necessarily affiliated with any organization on the national level. So everybody understands that these groups weren't monolithic. There's a reason why people are rising up and having fighting against the system, right? Because whether you're an anti-masker or you don't believe like masks should be mandatory, that's your prerogative. If you want to protest for that, I don't agree that it's something I would protest for, but you should have the right to protest. You should have the right to bear arms. You should have the right to carry weapons. If the police and the military can carry weapons, you should too. When I was younger, I used to have a different stance. I used to be more for gun control, but because of the state that we're in, which is the police state, I think that people should be allowed to have guns, and I think people are more than allowed. They should, actually. We were there at the Capitol 6 riot when the supposed insurrection happened. We didn't see an insurrection. We saw people protesting, and then a few people go and have a riot, so to speak, right? A riot because there was chaos and a little violence.
That's quite fascinating to listen to stuff like that. They're so arrogant because they know there's only probably a sprinkling of people like myself who don't get many views. There's the Daily Beast calling them dirtbag left, but that simply places Convo Couch, Dore, and the rest of them into some sort of box. There's no mention of Cointelpro or Entrapment. It's weird because Hal Turner wasn't a conspiracy theory. Hal Turner wasn't the only outed Cointelpro rat. So I find this funny considering that yesterday in my other video I'm pointing out how Shanda and Amber from Roar Media were implying that the shootings in Colorado and I think Georgia, that those weren't organic from some nut job. They were implying that it was some sort of conspiracy by the Democrats. It was quite bizarre. I did document it. I did put the proof on the previous video. And now we have here, with this new audio, the same sort of arguments for weapons. It's called a wedge issue. It's like abortion, capital punishment, stuff like that. It's usually difficult to prove one side or the other. Although not always. I think abortion, well, I'm not going to go into abortion. It's a wedge issue. Capital punishment is a toughie. Gun control. Fiorella and Jardula are pushing crazy talk. There's no other way around it that these people are crazy. And then one must ask, are they doing that deliberately? I think it's deliberate. One can watch their co-workers, the other channels that they keep plugging. I already went over that. It's incestuous. I made a long rambling comment response to someone on my channel. I'm going to share that here a little later. This is simply too much for one person to handle. I feel that I've presented what I can. It's going to take more than one person to figure this out. Looky here, we've got Franco Analysis yesterday putting on a show with radical anarchists. They look violent. He's saying they're Maoist, Leninist. There's even a third guy who obviously has a severe autism. He also seems to be on drugs. He's acting strangely, the one not wearing a mask. And then the other two guys, to me, it looks like more of the same of obvious entrapment. Helt showed up the other day on Redneconomics and Manitalk's show. They're putting out the lie that Manitalk was suspended or censored by YouTube. I'm not believing it. I did get to see the video they put up that was then deleted. They made so many mistakes. There were a lot of thumbs down. It was just more of the same of them having echoes and noise issues, muting themselves and stuff like that. It was just a miserable attempt at putting up a video. Maybe Manitalk just doesn't care. Maybe he's just that stupid. I thought maybe they were doing some psyop with sounds. Now I'm not so sure. Maybe this James Young guy is that incompetent. So they switched it over to Redneconomics channel. Mitchell Helt shows up. And he was basically there trying to help them, let them know when stuff was going wrong, that the audio was off, or there were glitches, man-made glitches by them. Ebon Kim was mentioned. This is craziness. It's as if they are fully aware of what I'm producing. I'm not an anonymous coward. I've already pointed out who I am, what I did in the past in regards to the Kimberlin stuff. I know that was 2010, around then. But I'm not just some one that isn't identified. So that's why I think they bring up Ebon Kim. They're playing mind games. I'm ready to quit watching all these channels. I mean, following them, trying to put it together. I think I have put it together. They are targeting soldiers. The Asperger's helps me a lot in putting things together. The only thing with that, though, is that it can't be on a schedule. It's not automatic. A lot of insights I come up with, they emerge over time. I am quite logical. I don't just say stuff to say it. I never really thought I was that smart or any more smart. I actually thought I wasn't that smart. Above average smart, I believed, but not into the savant. But now I'm thinking maybe I do have some of those special skills, and that explains how I was able to come up with some stuff here and there. Good stuff, great stuff. I'm getting older. I've come to terms with mortality. I continue. I continue to breathe. I continue to live. Graham Elwood gave me a shout out. Somehow I was able to get some comments into his chat. I think it was with Placone. I wrote in about how Graham supported the troops, the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. And he got mad. I didn't say he supported the troops. That was more his plausible deniability. I think he implied that, oh, I'm supporting wars because I did some USO shows. But I mean, people can watch the video I made or track down that clip where they're showing him in Afghanistan, kissing the soldiers' feet, saying, oh God, thank you for serving us. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be free without this. You go back in Elwood's past and he got gift-wrapped game shows. These people are not fooling me. And I know they're not fooling a lot of other people too. To wrap this up, I'll just recite the comment I wrote. I feel bad about it because the person asked me a direct question and I found it difficult to be concise and to stay focused. Here it is. The person asked, "What's up with this Roar Media? How are they connected, financially and otherwise?" Now my comment's gone. I guess that's my fault for not taking a screenshot. Someone out there is clearly cheating, unless that's a glitch. I saw the comment made it. Even says there are 2 comments, but only one is showing up. It's not in the spam bin. It's nowhere to be found. I was basically saying, look at all these connections, how they all promote each other, even Jason Burmis, H.A. Goodman, Eric H526, Manitalk, Redneconomics, Mitchell Held, Graham Elwood. I started to really show some of those connections that I figured out by delving into the archives at YouTube. Here's a shorter response that I just put out to respond to his question. My confidence in YouTube's comment system is very low right now. Here's my response to his or her question about what is up with Roar Media, how are they connected financially and otherwise. I wrote a long response, but now it's gone. I'll provide a much shorter version. Roar Media was uphill media until I connected them to Mitchell Helt, Manitalk, Ebon Kim, Eric H526, Goodman's moderator, Elwood, and someone named Joy Choden. Choden was critiqued by PR Week for producing AstroTurf centered around fake citizen-generated media. This convoluted, incestuous network involves many people and outlets, including Jimmy Dore, Cenk Uygur, Tim Pool, Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Russia Today, and Sputnik personalities, and many more. The funniest part of all this to me is how idiotic these shows are, that they are forced to AstroTurf the thumbs up, the comments, giving people wrenches. Ebon Kim told them to do that. He said, give them all wrenches. The word needs to be spread to real activists and real individuals who are concerned about life and society. People need to be aware that these are not our friends, that it's a racket, that they are targeting lone wolves, and especially for military personnel, anyone associated to military from Snowdens to Mannings. That's who they're afraid of. That's who they are working towards identifying. That's why they're pushing militias. That's why they're pushing the craziest nonsense one would think they would ever come up with. They are walking contradictions. They are liars. They are paid to lie. They have nothing to do with social movement. They are rigging democracy. They are rigging what's talked about and consequently how we are proceeding as fellow citizens. These people are flaunting going without masks because they are paid to do that. It's no coincidence that they all seem to have involuntary facial movements, and many of them I am noticing have involuntary body tremors. I'm sick and tired of the lowest of the low gaining prominence as influencers. That is why I am declaring the internet as dead, that none of this means anything. And it's because of people like this, like Jimmy Dore, like Cenk Uygur, like David Pakman, name the paid fake, like Tim Pool. The only thing preventing everyone else from saying that this is Cointelpro is time. They probably don't have the time to look back into archives and go, oh, that's not some crazy conspiracy chatter.